Hey everybody, and welcome to another new season and new episode of Missed Calls with Coach Miller. I am, in fact, Coach Chris Miller, and it's great to kind of be getting into the summertime. Of course, hay season for me being a farmer is kind of already in the mix, and summer basketball is getting ready to start, and we got a lot going on, but at the same time, I just wanted to be able to come to you guys and have another episode and kind of get going on this because there is something I've been just dying to have my own voice on, not just do the coach's box and have everybody else talking, but basically the NFHS, the National Federation of High School Sports, probably came up with one of the stupidest rules ever for high school basketball coaches. Moving forward for this upcoming school year, they made a new rule change, and it eliminates the 1-and-1 free throw and resets team fouls at the end of each quarter. So, if for you guys who don't know about how this works, the old rule was in high school basketball, it was around for I don't know how many years because it's way before my time. The old rule was after 6 team fouls in the half, on the 7th foul, the other team gets to shoot a 1-and-1 free throw. Now, of course, this is a common foul, not the ones if you foul somebody when they're shooting, obviously it's 2 free throws. You make the first, you get a second. That's how 1-1 works. This would happen on the 7th, 8th, and 9th team fouls, okay? So, on the old rule, that's how that was. All right? So everybody with me so far? Great. Now, on the new rule, there's no more 1-on-1 free throws. Okay? Teams will shoot 2 free throws for non-shooting fouls on the team's 5th foul in the quarter. So before, you used to have the number of team fouls get reset after each half. First, second quarter, all those team fouls, and then you reset at halftime. Now, they reset at the end of the quarter. So on the 5th team foul, the other team's not shooting a 1-on-1, they're shooting 2 free throws. On the 6th foul, they're shooting 2 free throws. 7th, 2 free throws. 8th, it doesn't even matter anymore. Okay, and team fouls reset after each quarter. So I'm not sure what the NFHS really wanted to do with this, just looking at it from a basketball coach for the last 17 years, but I don't understand it, okay? And their justification is, and this came out in April 24th through the 26th in Indianapolis. They had their board of directors meeting, and it was approved by all of those dudes and women sitting in that meeting. But their justification is the rules committee studied data that showed higher injury rates on rebounding situations and saw this as an opportunity to reduce opportunities for rough play during rebounds. Now, that's from Lindsay Atkinson, the NFHS Director of Sports and Liaison to the Basketball Rules Committee. Additionally, resetting the fouls each quarter will improve game flow and allow teams to adjust their play, not by carrying foul totals to quarters 2 and 4. So it's kind of like women's college basketball. Again, nothing wrong with that, but instead of having the halves and team fouls, which obviously have that in men's college basketball because there's only 2 halves of basketball, which is really stupid. That's another topic for another time. But now you reset at the end of each quarter and you just eliminate 1-on-1 free throws. So I'm going to break this down to 2 parts of why I think this is completely asinine and stupid. Okay. Number 1, let's address the first part of that. The Rules Committee study data that showed higher injury rates on rebounding situations and saw an opportunity to reduce opportunities for rough play during rebounds. I don't know about you, but I'm not going to sit here and say that a 1-on-1 free throw rebounding situation and a 2-shot free throw situation, when the ball is actually in play and things are live, it's going to be a war no matter what. So what are we taking away? The one extra opportunity that you could possibly get hurt rebounding? Basketball's a contact sport. So why are we've already made it about as safe as we can make it. Why are we having to change the 1-on-1 free throw situation for possibly hurting someone during rebounding? And again, why? That makes zero sense to me. You're going to have those same opportunities to get hurt. It's what, one extra time? Then everybody else is going to stand there with their hands on their hips and look up at the basket while someone's shooting the first of 2? Yeah. But what about that one opportunity where somebody forgets there's not a 1-on-1 free throw and they get chopped in half? Or back when we were talking about this being, one-on-one free throws and injury situations, was somebody wasn't paying attention and got chopped in half on a rebound because they thought it was a two-shot? To me, I don't see the justification behind this. It's a silly way of trying to maybe make a universal basketball rule that goes maybe with the European game, maybe with the pro game, with women's college basketball. I'm sure at some point men's college basketball will be 4 quarters and they'll have the same type of free throws and foul situations. But the one-on-one free throw is something that we as coaches have always talked about, that you got to make it. Like my dad always would say that if you miss the first one, it's like missing 2. Well, he's right, because you don't get to shoot the second one. So you just left points out on the line. To me, also, it makes no sense, because justifying it for fouling or for injury situations, because again, you're going to have people physically hit each other on box outs on rebound situations. You're just cutting down the number of times that actually happens. Again, this is a contact sport. What are we trying to do here? What's the major injury that made this happen? With other things the NFHS has done to make things safer for sports, I can agree with a great many of them. I don't understand why this rule makes the game safer. It makes high school basketball any safer, because now you can't. You take away what, 3 extra opportunities for rebound situations. So why are we? Or what's the next step? Obviously, limiting the amount of shots a team can take, so we have less opportunities for box out situations and rebounding. Because for teams that try to push tempo, they want to shoot the ball 80 some odd times a game. All those opportunities are opportunities for kids to hit each other and box out. So what are we trying to do here? Okay, this is a situation where everybody should be paying attention, and you should be able to put your body in a great position to see the contact coming and make an adjustment against that other person. There's going to be times where someone shoots and you don't know that they're shooting, and you get boxed out on a regular shot. How is that any different? Everybody sees the ball going to the basket on a free throw, so you know when exactly you need to box out or be prepared for the contact that comes with boxing out. It makes no sense whatsoever. Now, to address the second part, they were to say, additionally, resetting the fouls each quarter will improve game flow and allow teams to adjust their play by not carrying foul totals to quarters 2 and 4. Well, you still have team fouls that are accumulating and personal fouls that are accumulating. For coaches, and the people I've talked to since this rules came out, and everybody now has had an opportunity to talk about it, we're going to be changing the way that we actually strategize fouling at the end of games, because now you try to get at least close to the bonus if you're in a situation, and then you foul the bad free throw shooter. He misses the front end of a 1-and-1. You get the ball back, and you have an opportunity to either come back or take a lead or make, those are things that you think about as a coach. Now, well, you get 2 shots, so you could be the worst free throw shooter on the team, and you might make 1 out of 2. I don't see how this is going to improve game flow, because now you're shooting free throws at foul number 5 instead of at foul number 7. So there's 2 fouls that happened in that point of time, to where now you're going to be slowing the game down. And now every time, if teams are going to foul, and they're probably going to foul 9-10 times in each half, if not more, you're still going to be stopped, and you're shooting 2 free throws. So instead of shooting a 1-and-1 and missing it, and now the game continues and the clock starts, the pace of play is going to stop. And there are going to be teams that are going to take advantage of this situation, because that's the way they play. They play more of a grind out kind of style. And especially in Missouri, where I'm located, where we don't have a shot clock, you're going to have those opportunities to grind things down and to grind the game down to a screeching halt and make life difficult for other teams. This is an opportunity for that to happen, especially if you have a bunch of bodies on the bench where you can foul and slow the game down. And you would be exploiting teams that can't shoot free throws anyway. But to say that we're going to improve the pace of play, or the flow of the game, maybe not necessarily the pace, but the flow of the game, is another outright just asinine comment, because you're not going to improve the flow of the game by shooting 2 fouls. The game is actually going to take longer in that aspect. The other thing that's not a part of this that I feel is going to be kind of detrimental is the fact that if you're resetting your team fouls at the end of each quarter, I feel like this is going to also have a negative impact on any of our small rural schools, small size schools that don't have the numbers and maybe don't have the numbers to field a large number of basketball players on each team. And you're going to be putting people in situations where they're going, since you have to foul to stop the clock, there's going to be an opportunity here for those teams to really struggle with their depth if they have to do that. Now, these are all assumptions here. It could definitely improve the pace of the flow of the game. It might not affect how teams how they sub and how it affect their depth at the end of the game, and it might reduce the injury aspect. But that's all a lot of what if. The whole thing behind it is they use some kind of data and some kind of study to make this major rule change to the game of high school basketball in the United States. With not having just specific examples, it's just we did a study that says that there's higher injury rates on rebounding situations. Well, did you go into that same kind of study and say there's higher injury rates on using your head in high school soccer that's causing more concussions than football? Did we look at that? Did we say that all soccer players have to wear helmets now or those special padded things on their heads to keep them from getting those kind of injuries? No. But to me, I don't, and I would say that would make more sense than this rule. This rule doesn't make any sense to me. To say we're not going to have a 1-on-1 free throw situation, I think it greatly impacts the game of high school basketball, and I don't think we're going to necessarily see that effect until we've had a full season to digest this. And we could always come back and say, "Well, man, that was a really good idea to change this rule," or you're going to be saying, "Man, this is a really stupid rule." Now, me personally, because this is my thing about missed calls. Yeah, I think it's a stupid rule. I think it's completely dumb. I mean, we're trying to make something safe that there's no possible way you're going to make safe in that sort of situation. So for anybody to think any different, again, it's totally crazy. And I think this is where the National Federation of High School Sports really kind of missed one. And we're going to call that a show for this week. Appreciate you guys tuning in. And, as always, I mean, it's a lot of fun to sit here and, second guess everybody else and their sort of stuff. But anyway, look forward to more of these missed calls with Coach Miller, and we'll see you guys all again next week. Have a great week.
Are you tired of boring sports talk shows? Then tune in to the Coach's Box. These guys don't just talk sports. They talk about whatever the heck they want to talk about. Watch new episodes of the Coach's Box each week for free on Facebook, YouTube, or the Streamline Sports app.